Today, we're going to be testing this YesWelder 205 DS Pro. It's a 4-in-1 multifunction welder that's capable of TIG, MIG, flux core, and stick welding. We're going to set it up for some MIG welding today, specifically for sheet metal. Let's see how it does. Before we start, I would like to thank YesWelder for sponsoring this video and sending this welder out for a test demonstration. But that doesn't mean I'm going to hold anything back. This is going to be an honest review where I tell you exactly what I like and what I dislike. Let's start by setting this thing up. Other than the welder itself, there's a separate box filled with attachments for all the other processes. It has the stinger for stick welding and a graphite insert for aluminum welding. Since I'm just doing some MIG welding, all I need is the gun. There's 3 prongs that need to be lined up properly before it gets tightened down. As for the ground clamp, since we're using shielding gas, we're going to hook it up to the negative side on the front of the machine. There's a small keyway that needs to be lined up. Once it's in, turn it to the right to lock it in place. Then the polarity for the wire goes into the positive side. Now, let's load in the wire. This machine is capable of using 023 wire all the way up to 035 for MIG. As for the wire spools, it takes both 4-inch and 8-inch spools. However, you will need to make a slight adjustment to the wire holder for the smaller size. You just have to remove the nut and take out the 8-inch holder. Since I'm using 023 wire, I'll have to swap out the roller for the 0.61. YesWelder supplies a bunch of different rollers for whatever wire is being used, whether that be aluminum, stainless, or flux core wire. Once it's started, we can plug the machine in and feed it through the gun. I'm using a normal house outlet, so I'll be using their adapter to step the machine down from 220 to 110. Before I send the wire through, I'm going to take off the contact tip. This is going to prevent the wire from bird nesting. I don't think there's an 023 tip in this kit, so I'm going to use one from my other welder. That's basically everything done. All that's left is hooking up the gas hose. Now, let's see how it does. I have some leftover 18 gauge to work with. I would consider this a pretty standard thickness for sheet metal. It's not paper thin, but you can still blow straight through it if you're not careful. I'm going to start by using their recommended settings, and I'll make adjustments as needed. It's not bad, but it's not biting in the way that I want. Let's turn it up a bit and see if that changes anything. That was a lot better. Before, the weld was kind of sitting on top of the metal. What I'm looking for is good penetration on the back side of the metal. This is just a test piece, but I'll show you exactly why this is super important. When working with sheet metal, most of the time it's on cars. The top of the weld has to be grinded flat so that you get that nice finish. But at the same time, you're destroying the weld's integrity, which will lead to failure. By bending it back and forth, this will fatigue the weld. As you can see, the side with barely any weld penetration failed, but the other side did fine. It still came apart, however, the metal itself actually fatigued and ripped rather than the weld, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm pretty happy with those results, but what if we tried it on something a little thinner? 20 gauge is much more prone to blowing out. Instead of using the recommended settings, I'm going to use whatever works for me. And again, it did great. There's definitely room for improvement. I could have messed with the settings a bit more to get better penetration, but this is still strong. Overall, I'm extremely impressed. I bought a dedicated sheet metal welder for a similar price about a year ago, and this welder is blowing it out of the water. The torch trigger is super light, which is really nice, especially if you're running long beads. But since everything has been overly positive so far, let's talk about some of the things that I don't like. First being the recommended settings. They are super important to me. It helps me get my settings in the ballpark. From there, I mess around and find what works. But the fact that the info is printed on a piece of paper is a bit odd. The inside of the lid is a perfect place for a sticker with the info on it. You can't lose it if it's attached to the welder. Another thing is that they didn't include an 023 tip. For the amount of money this welder costs, I feel like they should at least supply one of each tip. Moving to the inside of the machine, having to carry a wrench around to change the spool is not ideal. One of those hand twist nuts would have been a better option here, at least in my opinion. But all of these things are absolutely nitpicks. The positives really outweigh the negatives for me. One of my favorite things about this machine is actually the MIG gun. It has a built-in ball joint at the bottom. Being in tight spots and fighting with the lead sucks. So any added mobility is a huge plus for me. Power-wise, it did great. My settings were just roughed in, and it still delivered quality welds. Not to mention, the main feature is it's a multi-function welder. In the future, I'm looking forward to learning how to TIG weld. The fact that this machine can do both is great in terms of saving money. As for build quality, it feels solid. It probably weighs around 30 to 35 pounds. I'd still recommend using a cart to transport it though. So, would I recommend this to a friend? Absolutely. Especially if you use or are planning to use more than one process. Obviously, I can't speak about its ability to TIG weld and stick weld yet, but from the reviews, it seems like a solid option. Once again, I want to say thank you to YesWelder for sponsoring this video. I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to change, but this welder was a pleasant surprise, and it might just become my new main welder.